Hey, Cancer. I need to talk to you about something that's been coming through in the cards today, and honestly, this reading has me feeling so much excitement for you. The universe has been working behind the scenes in ways you probably haven't even noticed yet, and everything is about to come full circle in the most beautiful way. I just shuffled my deck, and the energy around you right now is absolutely incredible, so let me share what I'm seeing. The first card that came through is Judgment in Cancer. This card doesn't show up unless something major is about to shift in your life. This is about awakening, rebirth, and finally getting the recognition you deserve. For so long, you've been the one giving, nurturing, caring for others, sometimes to your own detriment. And the universe has been watching all of it. Every sacrifice you made, every time you chose kindness when you could have chosen bitterness, every moment you held space for someone else's healing while your own heart was breaking. The Judgment card is telling me that all of that is being accounted for right now. There's a cosmic rebalancing happening, and you're about to see exactly how justice works in this universe. What I find so powerful about this card appearing first is that it's not just about external validation, though that's definitely coming. This is about you finally seeing yourself clearly, recognizing your own worth without needing anyone else to confirm it for you. You've spent so much time being the emotional anchor for others that somewhere along the way you started to forget just how extraordinary you actually are. The Judgment card is like the universe holding up a mirror and saying, "Look at what you've become. Look at how much you've grown. Look at how your compassion never hardened into cynicism despite everything you've been through." This is your moment of awakening to your own magnificence. I'm also seeing that there are people in your life who have taken you for granted, who assumed you'd always be there no matter how they treated you. And the Judgment card is bringing a reckoning to those situations. Not in a vengeful way, because that's not who you are, but in a way that simply reveals the truth. People are going to start seeing you differently because you're going to start carrying yourself differently. When you truly recognize your own value, it changes your entire energy field, and others have no choice but to respond to that shift. Some people who dismissed you are going to suddenly want your attention, your time, your energy, and you're going to have the clarity to decide who actually deserves access to you. The energy of Judgment is also about completing a major cycle. Whatever you've been working through, whatever lessons you've been learning, whatever healing you've been doing, you're graduating to a new level. This isn't just incremental growth. This is a quantum leap in your consciousness and in your life circumstances. The universe is preparing to move you into a completely different chapter, one where you're no longer operating from old wounds or outdated programming. You're stepping into a version of yourself that's both softer and stronger, more discerning yet more open, carrying wisdom but not carrying bitterness. Let me pull the next card because I need to see what's coming in around this awakening energy. The Four of Pentacles just came through, and okay, this is interesting because usually this card is about holding on too tightly, but in your reading, it's showing me something different. This is about you finally understanding the value of what you have, what you've built, what you've created in your life. You've been so focused on giving that you haven't stopped to appreciate what you've actually accumulated, not just materially, but energetically, emotionally, spiritually. The Four of Pentacles is telling me that you need to start protecting your resources more carefully. Your time is a resource. Your energy is a resource. Your emotional capacity is a resource, and you've been spending these things like they're unlimited. They're not. This card is about learning to be selective, learning to say no without guilt, learning to keep some things just for yourself. There's a difference between being generous and being depleted, and you've crossed that line more times than you can count. The universe is teaching you about sustainable giving, about filling your own cup first, about understanding that you can't pour from an empty vessel. I'm seeing that there might be financial improvements coming as well. The Four of Pentacles often indicates a more stable material situation, and after a period of uncertainty or struggle, things are starting to solidify for you. Maybe you've been worried about money, maybe you've been feeling insecure about your financial foundation, but this card is saying that security is building. You might need to be a bit more conservative with your spending right now, more strategic about where you invest your resources, but that stability you've been craving is actually forming beneath your feet. This card is also about self-worth translating into material worth. When you truly value yourself, when you truly recognize what you bring to any situation, you stop accepting less than you deserve in every area of your life, including financially. You might find yourself negotiating better terms, asking for raises, setting higher prices for your work, or simply refusing to undervalue your contributions anymore. The Four of Pentacles is your permission slip to be a little bit protective of what's yours, to stop giving discounts to people who can afford to pay full price, to stop sacrificing your financial security to make others comfortable. But here's what's really important about this card showing up after Judgment. The awakening you're experiencing is teaching you to see yourself as valuable. And when you see yourself as valuable, you naturally start making different choices about how you spend your resources. You're not being selfish. You're being wise. You're not being stingy. You're being strategic. You're not closing your heart. You're opening your eyes. The Four of Pentacles is about conscious resource management, and that's a skill you're developing right now that will serve you for the rest of your life. The third card coming through is the Hierophant in Cancer. This is giving me chills because this card is about tradition, wisdom, teaching, and spiritual authority. The universe is positioning you as a teacher, as someone who has walked through the fire and emerged with knowledge that others need. You might not see yourself this way yet, but others are starting to look to you for guidance, for wisdom, for that nurturing insight that only someone with your depth of experience can provide. The Hierophant is telling me that you have something valuable to share with the world. Maybe it's through formal teaching, maybe it's through mentoring, maybe it's just through being authentically yourself and allowing others to learn from your example. You've accumulated so much wisdom through your experiences, especially your painful experiences, and that wisdom is meant to be shared. Not everyone who suffers becomes wise, but you've done the work of transforming your pain into understanding, your wounds into wisdom, and that's a gift that keeps on giving. I'm also seeing that the Hierophant can indicate a mentor or teacher coming into your life, someone who recognizes your potential and wants to help you develop it. This could be in a professional context, a spiritual context, or even a personal context. Someone with experience and authority is going to see something special in you and offer you guidance, support, or opportunities. Pay attention to who shows up in your life over the next few weeks, because this person could be instrumental in your next phase of growth. The Hierophant also speaks to traditional values and structures, and I'm getting that you might be stepping into a more conventional or recognized role in some area of your life. Maybe you're formalizing something that's been informal. Maybe you're getting certified or credentialed in something. Maybe you're taking on a leadership position that comes with official recognition. Whatever it is, you're being seen as someone with legitimate authority, with real expertise, with the right to guide others. This is part of that justice energy from the Judgment card. You're finally getting the respect and recognition that you've earned through your efforts and your growth. There's also something here about aligning with your deeper values and beliefs. The Hierophant asks you to consider what you truly stand for, what principles guide your life, what legacy you want to leave. You're being called to live with more integrity, more alignment, more authenticity. Not in a preachy or rigid way, but in a way that honors who you've become and what you've learned. When you live in alignment with your deepest values, everything flows more easily because you're not fighting against yourself anymore. Let me pull another card because I want to see how this teaching energy manifests in practical terms. The Seven of Pentacles just came out and wow, this is perfect. This card is about patience, investment, assessment, and harvest. You've been planting seeds for a long time, Cancer, working steadily toward your goals, investing in your growth, building your skills, developing your capacities. The Seven of Pentacles is telling me that you're at a point where you can start to see the results of all that effort. This isn't the final harvest yet, but it's the moment where you can look at what you've been cultivating and see that it's actually growing, it's actually working. Your efforts are actually producing results. Maybe they're not as dramatic as you hoped, maybe it's taking longer than you wanted, but there is real progress happening. The Seven of Pentacles asks you to pause and appreciate how far you've come, instead of only focusing on how far you still have to go. You've done more than you're giving yourself credit for. I'm seeing that this card can also indicate a period of reassessment. You're evaluating what's working and what's not, what deserves more of your energy and what needs to be pruned away. Not everything you've invested in is going to bear fruit, and that's okay. The Seven of Pentacles gives you permission to cut your losses on things that aren't serving you, to redirect your energy toward the projects and relationships that are actually growing. This is about working smarter, not just harder. There's a message here about trusting the timing of your life. You're someone who feels things so deeply that waiting can be agonizing, but the Seven of Pentacles is reminding you that growth has its own schedule. You can't force a plant to grow faster by pulling on it, and you can't force your life to unfold faster than it's meant to. What you can do is tend to what you've planted, remove the weeds, provide the right conditions, and trust that the natural process is unfolding exactly as it should. Your patience is not passive. It's active participation in your own becoming. The fifth card here is Eight of Swords and OK Cancer. We need to talk about this one because it's showing me where you've been trapped, where you've been limiting yourself, where you've been believing stories that aren't true. The Eight of Swords is often called the card of mental imprisonment. But here's the thing. The bonds are loose, and the blindfold can be removed at any time. You've been more free than you realized. You've had more options than you believed. You've been more powerful than you allowed yourself to know. This card is coming up to show you that so many of the limitations you've experienced have been self-imposed. Not because you're weak or foolish, but because somewhere along the way, you internalized messages about who you could be, what you deserved, what was possible for you. And those messages became invisible walls that you stopped even trying to cross. The Eight of Swords is the universe telling you that those walls are not real, they never were. You can walk away from them anytime you choose. I'm seeing patterns of self-doubt that have kept you smaller than you actually are. Times when you had ideas but talked yourself out of them, opportunities you didn't pursue because you convinced yourself you weren't qualified, relationships you settled for because you believed you couldn't do better, and dreams you abandoned because someone once told you they were unrealistic. The Eight of Swords is bringing all of this to your awareness so you can finally see how you've been colluding with your own limitations. But here's the beautiful thing about this card showing up in your reading right now. It's appearing alongside Judgment and the Hierophant and these other powerful cards, which tells me that you're ready to remove the blindfold, you're ready to see the truth, you're ready to step out of the prison of your own limiting beliefs. The awakening that's happening isn't just about external circumstances changing, it's about your internal landscape transforming. You're recognizing that you've always had the key to your own freedom. The Eight of Swords is also highlighting anxiety and overthinking. Cancer. Your mind is so powerful, but sometimes it works against you, creating worst-case scenarios, replaying past hurts, anticipating future pain. The mental loops you get stuck in are exhausting, and they keep you from taking action that could actually change your situation. This card is asking you to notice when you're spiraling into anxious thoughts, and to gently redirect yourself back to the present moment. Back to what's real, back to what's actually happening instead of what you're afraid might happen. The sixth card I'm pulling is Knight of Swords, and this energy is so different from what we've been looking at. This is swift action, clear communication, intellectual courage, cutting through confusion. After the mental imprisonment of the Eight of Swords, the Knight of Swords comes charging in with the Sword of Truth, ready to cut through all the BS, all the confusion, all the overthinking. This is your mind working for you instead of against you. The Knight of Swords indicates that you're about to gain tremendous clarity about something that's been confusing you. Maybe it's a situation you've been trying to figure out, maybe it's a decision you've been agonizing over, maybe it's a truth you've been avoiding. Whatever it is, sudden understanding is coming, and it's going to feel like a fog lifting, like you can suddenly see what was always there but you couldn't perceive before. This clarity is going to make action obvious and necessary. I'm seeing that you might need to have some difficult conversations soon. The Knight of Swords doesn't mince words, doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't avoid confrontation. There are things that need to be said, truths that need to be spoken, boundaries that need to be established, and the energy of this knight is giving you the courage to speak up. You've been quiet about certain things for too long, either to keep the peace or to protect others' feelings, but that silence has been costing you. It's time to use your voice, even if it makes people uncomfortable. This knight also brings news, information, messages. Something you've been waiting to hear about might come through suddenly. Could be about work, could be about a relationship, could be about a project or plan. Whatever it is, the information arrives quickly and requires you to think on your feet, to respond decisively, to trust your intellectual judgment. The Knight of Swords doesn't give you time to second-guess yourself, which is actually a blessing because your tendency to overthink can paralyze you. There's a warning here too, though. The Knight of Swords can be a bit too aggressive, too blunt, too quick to act without considering consequences. In your desire to finally break free from old patterns and limitations, make sure you're not being unnecessarily harsh or reckless. Speak your truth, but speak it with consciousness. Take action, but make sure it's strategic action, not just reactive action. The Knight's speed is a gift, but only when it's combined with wisdom. Let me pull the 7th card because I want to see where this clear action energy leads you. The Sun just came out, and oh my goodness, Cancer, this is one of the best cards in the entire deck. This is pure joy, vitality, success, clarity, warmth, everything good and bright and wonderful. After everything you've been through, after all the confusion and limitation and struggle, the Sun is saying that you're moving into a period of genuine happiness and fulfillment. The Sun brings success in whatever you're pursuing. Your efforts are not just bearing fruit, they're exceeding your expectations. Recognition, celebration, achievement, all of this is coming your way. But more than external success, the Sun is about internal radiance. You're reconnecting with your authentic self, the part of you that existed before you learned to hide and protect and shrink, the part of you that's naturally warm and giving and creative and alive. That part of you is coming back, or maybe emerging for the first time in its full expression. I'm seeing the Sun as a healing card in your reading. It's like standing in warm sunlight after being in the cold for too long, feeling the warmth penetrate all the way down to your bones. Whatever has been heavy in your life, whatever has been dark or difficult, the Sun is bringing light to it, not making it disappear necessarily, but illuminating it in a way that changes how you see it, how you experience it, how you relate to it. You're finding joy again, lightness again, hope again. The Sun is also about clarity and truth. Everything is visible in sunlight, nothing can hide. This connects to the Judgment card we started with and the Knight of Swords energy we just looked at. The truth that's being revealed, the clarity that's coming, it's all leading to this moment of standing fully in the light, being seen for who you truly are, and finding that who you truly are is absolutely magnificent. You don't need to hide anymore. You don't need to dim yourself anymore. You don't need to make yourself smaller to make others comfortable. The Sun gives you permission to shine at full brightness. There's something here about a childlike quality returning to your life. Not childish, but childlike. Wonder, curiosity, playfulness, spontaneity. The ability to experience joy without immediately worrying about when it will end. Cancer. You've been carrying adult responsibilities for so long that you forgot how to play, how to simply enjoy things without purpose or agenda. The Sun is inviting you to rediscover that capacity, to let yourself be delighted by simple things, to laugh more freely, to engage with life with fresh eyes. The 8th card I'm drawing is 4 of Swords, and this might seem contradictory after the Sun's vibrant energy, but actually it makes perfect sense. The 4 of Swords is about rest, recovery, meditation, taking time to integrate everything that's happening. You're going through such a massive transformation right now that you need periods of stillness to process it all, to let the changes settle into your system, to restore your energy for the next phase. The 4 of Swords is telling me that you've been exhausted, maybe for a long time. You've been pushing yourself, fighting battles, carrying burdens, and you're depleted. This card is your permission slip to rest without guilt, to say no to demands on your energy, to create space for recuperation. Rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity, and if you don't create that space intentionally, your body and mind will force it through illness or breakdown. Better to choose rest consciously than to have it chosen for you. I'm seeing that meditation or contemplative practices could be really beneficial for you right now. The 4 of Swords often appears when someone needs to quiet their mind, to step back from constant mental activity, to find stillness within the chaos of life. You don't have to become a meditation master or follow any specific practice, but finding ways to give your mind a break from its constant churning would serve you well. Even just 5 minutes of conscious breathing, of being present without trying to solve anything or figure anything out. This card is also about strategic retreat. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is step back from a situation temporarily, not in defeat but in wisdom. You don't have to engage with every provocation, respond to every demand, show up for every event. The 4 of Swords gives you permission to be selective about where you invest your energy. To recognize that sometimes the most powerful action is non-action. The most profound response is silence. There's a message here about healing through rest. So much of your healing has been active work, therapy, processing, analyzing, trying to figure things out. And all of that has been necessary and valuable. But the Four of Swords is reminding you that healing also happens in stillness, in sleeping, in daydreaming, in moments of doing absolutely nothing. Your nervous system needs time to recalibrate. Your emotional body needs time to settle. Your mental body needs time to simply be quiet. Give yourself that gift. The 9th card coming through is Ace of Pentacles in Cancer. This is such a promising card. This is new beginnings in the material realm, opportunities for prosperity, tangible manifestation of your efforts. After the rest and integration of the Four of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles is showing me that something new is ready to take root in your physical reality. This could be a job offer, a business opportunity, a financial windfall, or simply a new approach to managing your resources that creates more stability and abundance. The Ace of Pentacles is a gift from the universe, but it's a practical gift. It's not just magical thinking or wishful hoping, it's a real opportunity that requires you to take real action. You have to reach out and grasp this ace. You have to be willing to do the work to develop it into something substantial. But the potential is there. The seed is being offered. And if you plant it and tend to it with care, it can grow into something really significant. I'm seeing that this ace might represent a new relationship with money and material security. You're learning that you can be spiritual and also care about material comfort. You can be generous and also have boundaries around your resources. You can be compassionate and also expect fair compensation for your work. The Ace of Pentacles is helping you integrate the material and spiritual aspects of your life instead of treating them as separate or opposed to each other. This card often indicates the beginning of something that has long-term potential, not a flash in the pan or a temporary boost, but something that can be built upon, that can grow over time, that can create lasting security and prosperity. Maybe it's a career path that finally feels aligned. Maybe it's an investment opportunity. Maybe it's a skill you're developing that has market value. Whatever it is, it has legs, it has staying power, it's worth your sustained attention and effort. The Ace of Pentacles is also about grounding and embodiment. After all this spiritual and emotional work you've been doing, after the mental clarity and the rest and integration, now it's time to bring everything down into physical form. How do you want to live? What does your ideal daily life actually look like? What do you want to be able to afford? What kind of home do you want? The Ace is asking you to get specific about your material desires and to recognize that wanting these things doesn't make you shallow or unspiritual, it makes you human. Let me pull the final card to see how all of this comes together. The Hierophant is appearing again, or actually wait, I'm pulling from where I left off, so this is the 10th card. Let me see what actually came through. It's the Emperor, and wow, this is powerful, Cancer. The Emperor is about structure, authority, leadership, taking control of your domain. After everything we've looked at, after the awakening and the clarity and the rest and the new beginning, the Emperor is showing me that you're stepping into your power in a completely new way. The Emperor doesn't ask for permission, doesn't wait for validation, doesn't need external approval to know their worth. The Emperor simply stands in their authority, simply takes up space without apology. This is who you're becoming, Cancer. You're learning to set boundaries without guilt, to make decisions based on what you want instead of what everyone else needs, to lead your own life with confidence and clarity. This is a massive shift for someone with your nurturing, accommodating nature, but it's a necessary shift. I'm seeing the Emperor as establishing order in areas of your life that have been chaotic. Maybe your finances, maybe your schedule, maybe your relationships, maybe your work situation. You're creating structure and systems that support you instead of drain you. You're becoming the benevolent ruler of your own life, making decisions that serve your highest good, organizing your resources efficiently, protecting your boundaries firmly but fairly. The Emperor also speaks to taking responsibility, but not the kind of responsibility where you blame yourself for everything. This is about owning your power, recognizing that you are the authority in your own life, understanding that you get to decide how you respond to circumstances even when you can't control the circumstances themselves. You're not a victim of your life. You're not at the mercy of others' choices. You're not powerless. The Emperor is reminding you that you have far more agency than you've been exercising. This card often indicates father energy or masculine energy, and for you this might be about developing the qualities traditionally associated with masculinity. Assertiveness, decisiveness, strength, logic, action orientation. Not at the expense of your natural Cancer sensitivity and nurturing capacity, but in balance with it. You're learning to be both soft and strong, both compassionate and boundaried, both caring and self-protective. That integration of energies is what makes you truly powerful. The Emperor as the final card in this reading is telling me that everything we've looked at, all the awakening and clarity and rest and new beginnings, all of it is leading to you claiming your throne, stepping into your authority, ruling your life with wisdom and strength. You're not just healing from your past anymore. You're actively creating your future. You're not just surviving anymore. You're building something intentional and sustainable. You're not just hoping for better anymore. You're making it happen through deliberate choice and consistent action. So Cancer, let me bring this all together for you. The universe is orchestrating a massive shift in your life right now. The Judgment card showed us that you're experiencing a spiritual awakening, a recognition of your true worth, a cosmic rebalancing that's bringing you the justice and recognition you deserve. The Four of Pentacles taught you about valuing your resources and protecting what's yours. The Hierophant positioned you as a teacher and wisdom keeper with something valuable to share. The Seven of Pentacles reminded you to trust the timing and appreciate your progress. The Eight of Swords revealed the mental prisons you've been living in so you can finally walk free. The Knight of Swords brought clarity and courage to speak your truth. The Sun illuminated everything with joy and success and authentic self-expression. The Four of Swords gave you permission to rest and integrate. The Ace of Pentacles offered new material opportunities. And the Emperor crowned you as the sovereign ruler of your own life. This reading is telling me that you are absolutely the best thing that has ever happened to so many people. But more importantly, you're about to become the best thing that's ever happened to yourself. You're learning to direct toward yourself even a fraction of the care and nurturing and devotion you've always given to others, and that's going to change everything. When you truly recognize your magnificence, when you truly stand in your power, when you truly honor your worth, the universe has no choice but to reflect that back to you in every area of your life. The justice you've been waiting for isn't just coming. It's already here. It's in every moment you choose yourself, every boundary you set, every truth you speak, every old pattern you refuse to repeat. You are witnessing how justice works by becoming the embodiment of it. You are the best thing that's ever happened to anyone who's been blessed to receive your love, and now it's time to be the best thing that's ever happened to yourself. Trust this process, Cancer. Trust your growing clarity. Trust your emerging strength. Trust that everything you've been through has been preparing you for this moment of stepping into your full power and your full radiance. The universe sees you, values you, and is conspiring in your favor. All you have to do is say yes to the life that's trying to emerge through you. Okay, Cancer, I hope this reading resonated with you and gave you something valuable to think about. If you felt this message, let me know in the comments what part spoke to you most deeply. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next reading.